Okay, there we go. I think everything's working now. Whew. I had to hit go live. Okay, so I'm gonna give a couple y'all some time to get on in the room. I got the chat up. Let's see here. It's working. Okay, there we go. I think everything beautiful. Hooray. All right, well, I don't see no folks in the room, so that's a little scary. Let me know if y'all are here in the chat. And then Beth, hey Beth, awesome. Okay, good. So I don't know if the reminder went out or not. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Oh, yes, okay, it did. So the YouTube live link went out. Y'all was supposed to get the Zoom link so you could join me in the Zoom room. Hey, Natasha. Okay, let me bring the chat over here so I don't have to keep looking to the side. Okay, this is great. I finally have figured it out. Okay, wonderful. Here we go. So we're gonna get this right one day where y'all get the Zoom link. You can be in a Zoom room with me and um, you know, we'll make it work. So we'll have some people in the Zoom room, some people can be on YouTube, and it's just going to be fantastical. But I'm just so happy that y'all are here. How are y'all feeling today? How's everybody doing? I just I'm so happy y'all are on. Okay. So let's jump into the book. We are on chapter 3 today. And what did y'all think about chapter 3? Or what are your thoughts about the book so far? That I would love to know. Um just kind of high level what you think. So in chapter 3, it's called The Family Legacy Rings and a Rockefeller Method. Oh, you got the YouTube. Okay. Yeah, I just saw it, Natasha, about the YouTube link. As you know, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna get that how I want it to be, you know. Um, so y'all will be able to join on Zoom here shortly. But nevertheless, I'm so glad we got YouTube to work. Um, because I finally figured it out. It is a lot of extra steps to get it to work, but you know what? Hey, at least it's working. So I'm just curious, have you all seen the family rings? Yes, it is high level reading. Oh, can I put this on the screen? Let me see. Pin message. Let me see. Okay. Oh, your message pinned at the top, but it doesn't go on the screen. Okay, well, we're gonna figure this out because I want people to be able to see um your comments too that you all put because that's a huge part of everything, everything being interactive. Okay. Oh, thank you, Natasha. I appreciate you. No worries, Beth. This is why I break it down just to kind of, whet your appetite and just expose you to the information that's in here. So when you get it, you get it, but nonetheless, you will have the concepts, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually share my screen with the book. So give me a couple beats. But while I'm doing that, I literally came home at 7:57. So, or 7:55, excuse me. And so here we are. Okay, life just be, this is why I really don't.
You're following Dave Ramsey's debt payoff advice.
Sorry. This is why I don't leave my house often because when I leave my house, inevitably I am late for the next thing that I'm supposed to do. So I literally went live in my car and in our car because I had another live at 7 o'clock and I was not home. So hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Um, I want to show you all in the book, chapter 3, he has these family legacy rings. And I don't know if Jen is here yet, and I really wanted Jen to share because she actually does family meetings. And let me know in the chat, does anybody else here do family meetings? I'm just curious. Um, Let me know in the chat if you do any family meetings. Like it could be around finances, maybe not, but I would love to know if you do them. Okay, I'm gonna just have to let this go. All right, here we go. Let's do that. And we're gonna go to what would the Rockefellers do? And we're gonna go to the rings because I want y'all to see the visual, especially if you don't have the book or you're a visual learner, is going to be so helpful for you to actually see what I'm talking about. So this is what it looks like. Okay. So let's see. I'm just checking the chat. Okay, good. All right. Here we go. Wait, where is Zoom? See, y'all, this is why I use two screens because it's far easier to do it that way. Where you can see, I can see the chat, I can see Zoom, I can see the book. It's fantastical. Okay. So here is the rings, right? So we're gonna start here. Um the family legacy rings. So he says that oh, so you do have it, Natasha. So Natasha has it with her daughter. Which when she tells me I might have to go get them. This is why y'all need to be in the chat because the chat is lit. I'm not gonna tell you what Natasha's daughter said. You have to be here to know, but it's quite hilarious. Let's see. Interesting, Beth. So Natasha's daughter will talk to her, but Beth's son is kind of like, he doesn't want to talk about finances now that he's an adult. And it's interesting because, you know, my hope for families is that for children as they get older, they actually start to see how their parents can partner with them, if that makes sense. Um, because I think that, your parents have a lot of wisdom that you may not necessarily have. And I think that that's crucial to glean the good stuff, right? While you can. So I'm just curious, can y'all actually see my screen? Let me know in the chat. Because I don't know how this if it actually lets you share screen. Because it doesn't look like it's sharing on my end, but can you all see it? Oh yeah, and now there's no okay, good. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's jump in. Oh, now it's showing up. Okay. As you can see, I'm reading so many books right now. So let's start here. So the Rockefeller method is at the center of what they call the family legacy rings, right? So they have the family office, which is here, the family retreat, which is over there, right? So this whole circle, let's just say the whole circle, then this whole circle is the family retreat. And then the third part is the family constitution, right? And then at the center, as you can see, is the Rockefeller method. There's the implementation enhancer. So that's the overlap of the family office and the family retreat. Then you have the overlap of the family office and the family constitution, which is the interactive wealth. And then this overlap here, which is human capital expander. So we're going to be talking about, well, what does this mean, right? And how can we implement it? Yay! Hey, Doriel, glad you could make it on tonight. Y'all really make me happy when you come. Like, I don't think you understand. It's like the highlight of my week. And when people send me pictures of their babies, those are the highlights of my week. I know it's random. Okay, so let's keep on going. So I'll keep that up on the screen, and we're going to get into it. So, basically, what he talks about, and if you're using Kindle, for me, it's on page 35. He said that the Rockefellers had an office of financial professionals. I've talked about this before. Um, I'm a financial professional, but I'm not an expert in every lane, right? So I then refer for my clients, right? So I refer my clients to attorneys. I refer my clients to accountants. I refer my clients to investment advisors until I pass my licenses, which y'all hold me accountable because I'm about to start studying. Yes, thank you so much, Natasha. And risk managers. So basically, those professionals made up the family office, right? Now, of course, they had enough money to have these people on retainer. You don't have to be a million billionaire to have these people in your life. I have attorneys. I have multiple attorneys that I work with. I have an accountant. Um I have a financial planner because even though I know finances, like I don't know everything, and also I need accountability, right? So I want you to think about your team, right? Your financial team. That is so important. Oh, thank you, Natasha. Yes, girl, I'm about to start studying for my securities licenses. I'm like, it should be fine. It should be fine. I already passed one exam. And so I just need to formalize it so that, I can have certain credentials and people will be happy about it. All right. So I don't know, something strange is happening with, hopefully you all can still hear me clearly. Okay. So he said having a full-time team like the Rockefellers had, solely dedicated to their family. I'll just show y'all my highlights since we're sharing screen here. He said in hopefully this is not I'm able to do this, but basically he said, they have a $300 million net worth. Thank you, Beth. And of course, we don't necessarily need to have a whole team on retainer all the time. But what you can do is you can use a fractional or virtual family office. So, one thing that I talk to my entrepreneur clients about is having a bail team, right? Bail, banker, accountant, insurance agent, lawyer. Okay. So these are some key things. Like as you're building your wealth, you want to have these people in your life already. You don't want to get to the point where you're super wealthy and now you're trying to figure out who you can trust. You want to have them along the way. So that's the family office in a nutshell. Now, the family retreat is about building a relationship within the family. And I'm trying to think of how to say this. I had to realize, like, kind of like what to Beth's point. Right? Isn't that cool, Natasha? To Beth's point, the people in my family don't listen to me. Now, other people do. But my family, they be like, whatever. But here's what I will say. The people who do, I can become family with them. Like we've become family. Like the ladies who are here tonight in live, you all are my family. So, we've worked, some of us have worked on things together. And for me, like it is super important that whoever I'm doing life with, that we are aligned, right? We have to be able to trust, right? Especially when it comes to finances, that's important. Um, and we have to be able to have conversations around these things. So, well, he has a family retreat and he has recurring meetings. And I wish Jen was here, and I should have told her in advance that I want to ask her. I should say that I would have liked her to share because she has family meetings. And this is the space where you get people's buy-in, right? Like, you know, I was talking to a friend, and she was talking about a young lady getting an inheritance, like a significant inheritance in 2 years. And her dad wanted my friend to teach her, like, about money. And I'm like, why don't we just do a boot camp for parents and kids? Because, of course you want your kids to know about money, but you want to know too. You both parties should be understanding this information because, when she becomes an adult in a couple of years or legal adult, um, her dad is, thinking forward, like, I can't touch the money, but she can, and I want to make sure she knows what to do when she gets it. So you got to have that buy-in because I've also heard stories where people get inheritances, right? The parents aren't married, the child gets an inheritance from the father. The mom is trying to advise the child what to do with the money, and the child is just going willy-nilly, like, because they never had financial education. So this is so key, this buy-in and making sure that, especially when you create your trust, this is not in here, but I'm gonna tell you now. Yes, please don't be dealing with Pookie them. Like you got to make sure that if you're gonna be handing over this money, that that person is worthy and knowledgeable about what they're doing with the money, so it doesn't become depleted. So he just talks about like, having multi-day events like actual real retreat. I think that would be so dope. I did one family vacation with like, I think it was what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was 8 of us, and we went to Mexico. That was pretty cool. But that was the extent of it. And he talks about having a mission for your family, creating traditions, and maybe even coming up with a family crest. It doesn't have to be that elaborate. It can be Sunday dinner. And then we're having this conversation. The key is you want to normalize these conversations so that you all can actually see your dream come alive. Hey, Faith, welcome. So next up is the family constitution, right? So we all know what the Constitution is in our country, right? But when you have a family constitution, um, this one is to protect equal rights, not provide equal things. And I really like that distinction. Okay. Um, exactly, Natasha. Ooh, I wish I could one day, that's my next thing to do. Let me see. Put no. I really wish I could highlight this comment, but I'm gonna just pin it to the top. That's all I know how to do. Natasha said financial literacy training should be a part of the family structure. Absolutely, 100% agree. And you can put that into your trust. Like it can definitely be a part of it. And then another key thing here, so I have notes. Here's my question that I have for y'all. Do you have family members as trustees or non-biased third parties? Why did I ask that question? So let's just say you have a board for your family, right? And a board of trustees, right? Who is on that board of trustees? Is it all family members? Is it a mix of family members and non-biased third parties? Or is it all third party? What would y'all do? Because I mean, ideally it would be family, right? Like, but let's say that auntie and her niece are beefing, and the niece is in the next generation, right? Jen, there you are. I was like, man, I should have told Jen I wanted you to be in the Zoom so you could talk about your family meeting. So Jen is a great example of she does family meetings. So Jen, I'm just curious. Sorry, y'all. Now that Jen is here, I have to go back. Do you have, where is it? I'm sorry. Oh, here. Do you have like for your family meetings like a mission, traditions, a family crest and all that stuff? I'm just curious to know. And I forgot to ask you if you could come on and share. But Jen is a great person to talk to. She's the founder of Black on a Platform, so you can definitely check out her business. And then Beth has an amazing business as well. Make space for love if you want to make space for your boo in your home. So definitely check that out too. Shout out to all my friends with businesses. Ow. And okay, so Jen says she does have a family mission. So and her and her family may be building right now. So that's the thing, like you want to keep everything simple. That's the one thing I've learned in my middle age is like learning how to keep stuff simple, stop overcomplicating stuff, right? So with the Constitution, Jen, do y'all have a Constitution? I'm just curious. Remember, I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. Let's go back here to the Board of Trustees. Um, girl, no, Jen, yeah, we'll get the Zoom together. But if you want to jump on Zoom, I could text you the link real fast because then you can share about your family meetings. Let me see. Invite. Oh, let's see. Copy invite link. Okay. Here it comes. This is the beauty about having a Mac is that you can copy from device to device. So useful. Okay. Um Ooh, so they have bylaws. Okay, that's awesome. So maybe if Jen is available, she can come onto the Zoom and we can have her to share a little bit about her family meeting. Oh, next week. Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right. So I would just say with the trustees, that's important for you to distinguish if you are going to go that route. Are these going to be family members and non-biased third parties? Because let's just say, again, maybe one the board of trustees, they don't necessarily rock with somebody in the next generation. Like you got to really like think about who these people are. There are third party people that act as like executors and things. Like let's just say there's some families like they don't necessarily trust one another. Um and they need somebody to execute, someone's estate. So you can actually hire for that. I actually know someone that I met and she has a business and that's what she does. So as you can see, I really like this section, right? I even bookmarked it and everything. But some key things that I want to point out here is he talked about a carefully planned trust. So the beautiful thing about a trust is that it's super, super detailed, right? You get to decide how you want to preserve your family wealth. Okay. And he talks about basically when you create the trust, you use life insurance to fund it. Okay. So you can have a funded trust and non-funded trust, right? Um, and then if you have a trust, you see you can keep your assets private, avoid probate, minimize tax, and have provisions that keep the money together and the family together too. So if everyone is really intentional and we're thinking about the best interest of everybody involved, you can just be very detailed. Like, okay, you have to have financial literacy training. You have to either own a business or be in school, or you can be as very detailed as you want. And then depending on how you have it structured, let's say you want to give the kids a 5,000, the next generation, let's say a $5,000 allowance a month. Or maybe they get a $2,000 allowance a month while they're like 25 to 65, but then once they get retirement age, it now bumps up to $8,000 a month. Like you could be very specific because you may not want to give a young person 5 grand a month because then maybe they don't want to work, right? So you think of little nuances like that, like how do I want to keep, take care of my family, but also make sure that they're still responsible. So you could be very, 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 very intentional behind how you design. Um, Now he says if you don't have a trust, right? He said it can lead to division, distribution to irresponsible folks, and destruction, like the Vanderbilt family. Okay. And then now I've talked about probate many times, but if you never heard me talk about it, probate, like if you don't have a trust, right? If you only have a will or you have nothing, your estate will go to probate, basically your assets and stuff. And then attorneys and the judge will decide what happens to your assets, not you and your family. So the average probate on average takes about 2 years, which means you're paying attorney's fees for 2 years, which then is diminishing the value of your estate. So the cool thing though is like, for example, I don't own anything. Now I have assets, but my trust owns them. So um that's not true. I think I have to change. Do I have to change one more thing? I think I have to change one more thing and then I'll be completely own nothing, control everything. Because yep, it's so yeah, you may need to restructure. Is that's real. So I just kind of want to point that out that when you do get ready to structure your trust, you really just kind of, I implore you to think carefully about how you um determine who gets what and when and what guidelines you want to have so that it doesn't lead to irresponsible people being distributed hundreds of thousands of dollars and they go and spend it because I have heard the stories. Uh, that is so awesome, Jen. Jen said cousin Pookie paid her back. That is great. Yep, Natasha, that's exactly what happened to Princess Estate. And Chadwick Boseman too. Remember? Because he didn't have anything in place and he knew he was passing away. And it's like, why? Aretha Franklin? I can name a lot of names of people who didn't have estate plans in place. And the will is not enough because the will is going to go through probate too. I mean, it's nice to have a will, like your wishes, but that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. Um, oh yeah, capital gains taxes. Yeah. And I have to do professional development and I learned recently that life insurance is one of the cheapest. I don't like to use the word cheap. It saves the most money in terms of paying estate taxes. It's like the most cost-effective way, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. There's other ways, obviously, you can pay estate taxes, but that's one of the most cost-effective ways. So if you have the book, there is a worksheet that kind of goes over how you can personalize your trust and family constitution. So I'm going to put the link for you all in the chat here. I know that's right, Jen. Jen says she'll invest for you, but she's not gonna loan you nothing. Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't loan people money. I either give it to you or that's it. That's my only option. It's here you go. Okay. So, ooh, wow, time is flying. Okay. So, where do I want to go now? Because as you can see, y'all have a lot of highlights here. Mm, what do y'all want to know? What do y'all want to know from this chapter? Because at USC, I have a lot of highlights. Let's see. No questions. I did like this question when he asked, "What does legacy mean to you?" And he said, legacy is the total impact of the thoughts, ideas, values, signposts, examples, and influence we leave to those we love. And I really like this too. No matter your profession or the current state of your finances, you can create a legacy. You are not your bank account. You are not your circumstances. You are lovable. You are loved. And I really, really, really love that. Um, okay, so I think that we have covered everything in chapter 3. But as you can see, I really thought that this was more about the why behind creating your trust. Um, no, you don't have to have a board for your trust. This is more for his family meetings, right? And then he has what I'm assuming, because I haven't finished the book yet. What I'm assuming is that they they could have the trustees make decisions about the trust, but you don't have to. No, I don't have a board for my trust. Okay, so let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, I lost the chat when I did that. Let me get y'all back. Hang on, hang tight. I gotta find the chat again. Okay. So we said, you want to give me some money? That's so funny, dude. I love it. Ooh, I like this question from Keisha. She said, "Why is a legacy something that you have to leave?" Ooh, I like that, Keisha. Yes. Okay. So, Natasha, oh, Natasha's kicks. Ooh, okay. So, what is the alternative, Keisha? So, if a legacy is not something you have to leave, then what's the opposite of that? What would you say a legacy is? I like that question. Oh, thank you, Jen. Thank you, thank you. You know I have to look good for y'all. So I'm curious. I want to know in the chat since y'all are since I can't have y'all come off mute. What would you say is a legacy? I just want to know what you think. Because like Keisha said, like why do you have to leave a legacy? Do you keep a legacy? Like what does it mean to you? Like for me, I think, I'm not a parent, right? So my legacy has to look a little different. So one of my biggest pillars is education, right? I want to make sure that my people are financially literate. Of course, I can't do that alone. There's tons of people that educate on financial literacy. I want to make sure that people don't run out of money in retirement. I want to make sure that people have a wonderful legacy. I should say a wonderful end of life experience. And what do I mean by that? Because my grandfather was so financially savvy, many of you have heard this story. When him and my grandmother needed long-term care, none of their kids had to come out of pocket and pay for it because they already had it in place. And when my grandfather passed away, he left his kids, him and my grandmother's children, with everybody had a house and they had 7 kids. I was like, why can't that be everybody's story? Now, everybody may not care about that. Let me say that. But whatever it is that you do care about, why can't we do that? And how can we either come together or how can we pass down the knowledge and the information that he had to make that happen, right? And mentor people to get to that stage. So we're gonna wrap up here with these beautiful legacy definitions from Natasha. Natasha said, leaving my daughter a starting point in life, not having to struggle like I did. Exactly, Natasha. Like I always say, I don't want my niece or nephews to have to rent or take out student loans. Like I just if I can prevent it, I will. And then Jen says, is living in a way that leaves no imprint. I want to leave an imprint in this world. Not just for my children, but for my people. Exactly, 100% spot on. Because we are right now, we're in a retirement crisis. We are in a financial literacy crisis, and we have too much information at our disposal to be living in fear around investing and building wealth. Like we gotta get out of that fear, and I'll do it later, and we doing GoFundMe's and fish fries and all that stuff. Like it no, we have too much access now to um have to do that at this point. So I just want people to have a better experience in life. And that's basically what it comes down to. So thank you, Jen. Yeah, I figured that's why you said that. So Jen said what was the opposite of a legacy? I love it. Okay, awesome. Well, thank y'all for being here. I know Dr. Boyce is probably coming on soon. And and then Jen says, leaving the legacy is leaving an imprint. So that is a great way to end tonight. So next week we'll be on chapter 4. Definitely come with questions. I'm reading the book. I'm digging into it just like y'all. And I have a trust. I have life sure. I have all those things. But I'm adding, right? I'm adding to it. And that's what I want for us to do. We want to continue to add assets, right? One day at a time, week after week, month after month. If we can just keep adding assets, and then if we could reach back, lifting as we climb, that's what I used to hear from NABA when I was in National Association of Black Accountants. We lift as we climb. So thank you so much for coming, y'all. Love you. Stay awesome. And I'll see you next week. Ciao.